Hello and welcome back to another video. I know I didn't post anything for the continuation here last week. Let me just turn the desktop audio down a little bit. It's a little high compared to my mic. That was just because I made that sort of concept trailer for that Minecraft survival series I've been thinking of doing. We'll just continue on with this. Don't out me, game. I don't care that I use cheats. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how. I want to see how many cells we got again. 87. Okay. You might actually remember from, I think, the last video I had in this series, I was questioning how I haven't caused the game to crash yet. I am still very curious about how I have not crashed this game. I'm just checking to see what I had named it, because I'm pretty sure I did mention somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, last video I've named, how is the game not broken yet? Good, two connectors there. Also, I know last time I was kind of thinking about messing with the orders. I'm not going to really mess with that yet, because I think that's going to take a long time, and I have to be careful to make sure it doesn't get all screwy. I just love how massive these numbers are getting. Although I don't think I have yet to see any explanation about if the rapid growth rate was a bug or not. I'm gonna have to look at should probably just look at the patch notes honestly to see if there's anything there. Probably do that while I play the game a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna just go quiet while I look this stuff up, see if I can find what it is, and mention that when I get back. Also, I'm gonna try to use the same trick I did in that concept trailer for making the overall noise louder, so that hopefully should help alleviate me kind of talking quieter and, like, for whatever reason, YouTube not always playing at the same volume that I hear when I use my editor software. So hopefully that'll make things better. Please let me know if it is still too quiet, and I will just make sure the next video has an even higher boost with the audio. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. Okay, I think I might have found what is causing the crazy rate in the cell production. In the patch notes of the last update, it mentioned that there was a tweak to multicellular reproduction speed, but it appears when you get a little ridiculous in your cell count, it gets out of hand, I'm gonna say. Where you're like this, like if you're counting it like I did in one of my earlier videos when I first noticed it, um, it just eventually gets to the point where just like every few seconds, which I think right now, yeah, like every few seconds we're getting a new cell popping up, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I think it is also to make sure that, because with the original speed, if any time, like maybe some of you have seen me actually play any of those stages, like early on, you probably would have noticed how kind of slow things would be at times when it came to actually just getting through the stage. It just took a really, really long time. And so they probably made that tweak to make it not take as long. But like with this, we just see how crazy it starts to get. Like, look at just how, where is it? Up here now. Just boom, boom, boom. Like, that is really fast. Of course, and again, a nice thing about this is, especially with the change in how they did the health stuff, that makes it a lot easier actually to pull this off now, I would say. Simply because we don't have to worry about like this cell here losing all of its health and splitting the whole thing in half, losing a bunch of progress on the actual maximum size. So that helped, but they might want to, lower how fast it does that or cap it out, because it gets ridiculous at these high levels. Although most players should never be at the levels that I'm at with the actual size, because I'm just doing this to see if the Hive has a limit for what it can handle. Of course, for those who may have like watched the earlier parts of the series, that obviously is to see if there's like a limit we should place on maybe just on the player for how big they can make their cell colonies, or if we also have to be considerate about just how many multicellular colonies should be allowed to be present at any time, because if each of these cells still count as an entity, which I think might have been changed at one point, but if like a bunch of this would have caused lag issues, knowing like maybe how many cells the game could handle in one colony could help. Like the programmers like Hirolainen and whatnot, they could sort of cap out, like tell the game like, hey, only have this many colonies present on screen because you can only handle up to like this many cells total that are in colonies or whatever. So who knows? Although if I never went into issue with this, I have, like at this point, I'm also starting to wonder if I should maybe do a lot of this without recording, because we might have to get some ridiculous numbers if we even start to have any impact. Although I should also look to see if there's a way to pull up, like, I might have to do a dev. I don't know if there's a dev build for it or there's a certain command to get it to pop up, but I think there is like a dev test window that can be accessed. I just don't remember if it's something that's only accessible via like the dev builds or dev testing builds, or if anyone can access it. I have to look into that and maybe ask the dev Discord if they know how to activate that, because that could be another way to see if it's starting to have issues, especially when we're at the size where I'm not really able to move around anymore. Because obviously, like if it's plus minor drops in FPS aren't gonna be as noticeable. Like even if I'm standing still, but the FPS is running at like 10 compared to like a 60, that's gonna be noticeable. But if it's like maybe down just 10, it may not be as noticeable when we're kind of just sitting there, not really doing anything. The only way we'd, at that point, we'd even notice would be, of course, seeing the other cells. Although I will say, I am kind of surprised by the fact that we have a lot of small cells again. I think that is just a fact that I think a lot of the other species that were in this patch throughout the history of like this particular game ended up going extinct at one point. Although we still have some of those around, like the ones that do a lot of the toxins. But I am kind of curious as to why a lot of smaller cells kind of came back. I mean, they were probably, descended from a species that never really changed its size all that much from the beginning. But I also wonder if it could also be kind of tied to maybe like a weird performance thing that's occurring, but I kind of doubt that. I don't really think Thrive's at the point where the game's performance is affecting Auto Evo too much. But it is kind of rather interesting at times when I see it do stuff like that. I'm going to start sitting around again. I actually need it. I don't know what that is actually. Of course, in some of the earlier parts of this series, like just like one of these kind of cells, I think that's another one that might have toxin in it. But like they would just come up and like, yeah, it does. They like blast through like section here, and I'd lose all the cells here and have to regrow them all again. It was kind of annoying. Although, I will say my one kind of gripe with like I love the terrain that we added in, like these terrain kind of rocks and whatnot. One thing that I wish could be changed, but I kind of get it, is like I wish these could be bumped around a bit, like the other, like these chunks, the iron chunks, the other like chemical chunks that you can interact with, because these are like static and in water. It makes sense to be able to kind of bump them around a bit, but I do kind of understand it because I was joking at one point of making a like having there be a seed that where it just creates an entire maze, or where you could get a rare chance of the chunks forming like either the Thrive game icon, which is the kind of like that symbol down in the corner there for the menu, or the symbol used for Revolutionary Games Studios itself. I love how that one popped in over there. We're almost at 100 cells. But yeah, like I kind of get it, but it's a little annoying, especially at this size, because you can't just bump them out of our way. We eventually get stuck and we have to just sit there. Also, you can see like it's kind of low there. Oh, it looks like all the small guys kind of went extinct now, so I guess it's inaccurate now. Also, 4,300 million years. That's 4 billion years. I'm pretty sure at this point I've been running this game longer than our planet has actually existed based on just this value. So if I get to like 8 billion years, I'm gonna just check up on what Earth's age actually is. Okay, 4.5. So about 2 to 3 more generations we try and hit it. So that'd be like, so if this game gets to 9,000 million years, we'll probably have experienced the heat death of this. Well, not the heat death. You say the heat death of the universe, but our star would have gone supernova by then. So that's, of course, that's also assuming that this planet has the same kind of star as our own Earth, a yellow dwarf star. I think the funny thing is, yeah, like this is the actual central cell. So I technically only completed that ring just now, but for some reason I built it around the bottom one here. So I should probably start expanding this outer ring now. Also, I don't think I've done this in a while for this one. Let's take a look, just in case it somehow crashes for some reason from the size of what I expect the evolutionary tree to be like. I'm gonna just save it. See, oh, we had a meteorite strike. Just like, I always look at this sometimes. Although, generally at this point, I would say there's a lot of just consistent, amount of species. But this is probably going to look crazy. Yeah, you can tell there's been a lot of adaptations from our own species. Just from all these lines that connect. Let's see, from so between, starting and then our first generation here, which we were just speed running a little bit. That's funny. I think God, where did I actually start? I don't think it tells me what patch I started in here. I could probably, okay, it looks like the top patch anyways. Why did I not change anything right away? I think it was because I might have been waiting for, no, I don't know. I'd have to go back to the video to see why I didn't do anything right away. I'm gonna assume I was trying to find a good patch. I would expect it to take a bit longer because I'd have to keep changing pressure, temperature stuff. Oh, actually, no, I probably did. I had to drop it there, so yeah, no. This was definitely hydrothermal vents, and I just bum washed up, and then let's see, I was probably in a surface patch here, then I was able to actually get a thylakoid, and I eventually got close to the patch I was going for, around here probably. So yeah, okay. Let's see. This line goes so far down, I'm pretty sure. And okay, that max zoom now on this, we're still going down. Oh my, okay, okay, this group died so fast. And we got this group, which I see it has a branch along here. So there's one representative of that group still alive. There are no representative of this group here. And everything else is coming from, if you consider, these, it's like me, this, and this to be different branches from the first thing, and maybe just different larger lineages. This one fully went extinct. This one has only one living representative. Everything else is coming from me. You can see that there's some of these other groups still have some decent amount of representations. Oh, now this thing, that could be from, okay, definitely not from us. So this is something also with Thrive that is not always consistent, but it does happen on occasion. Species will, if they have enough, and if things work out for them, they will actually be able to develop nucleuses on their own. A lot of times they end up just branching off of the player's species. I've seen this other one, that's definitely a different group that developed a nucleus. So a lot of times the player is usually one of the first ones to actually have a nucleus form, and then the other cells will just come off of that, have a nucleus, and just kind of keep rolling with it. From my own experience, oh my god, there's a massive gap in that area. Yeah, we have had a lot of different things pop up over time here. Although you can kind of probably tell between here somewheres. Yeah, here and here is when I actually became multicellular, because once this happened, now I will say I think I could have maybe done a branch between here, because it would have been taken from this species, or at least this iteration. But once here, the game, I know they're working on it right now, but the game AI doesn't know how to handle the multicellular editor. Also, that looks atrocious. And also, you can tell that is all doesn't fit right. I think because also the growth order, that's the thing. If I had the growth order correct, it would have to kind of spin outwards. But yeah, that's That is a lot. And I will say something I think I have suggested actually to the devs maybe before, might have to mention again. So especially when we begin into some of these later stages of the game where there's gonna be, especially I would say the macroscopic stages, because those from like the discussions that we've had a bit, especially when I was asking questions in regards to my SpecEvo loading screen project, like time frames might be around like 10,000 years, because I remember I was thinking it was like a million years taking like 100 generations, so it's I don't know. I think it might have been 10,000 years. Had doing math? Yeah, 10,000 years I think would have the correct math there, for it to be like 100 generations, just to go through a million years. But just that alone, because of how many things would be present in the tree there, we're going to need some way to be able to collapse different sections of it so that you can look at like, so you don't have to like scroll through a whole bunch if you're looking for maybe like certain species you're hunting and wondering like what its related species are in case they went extinct and where those are, or if it just kind of is no longer in your general area. But even just to have it more organized. Like if you want to look at just the plants, you may also have, especially if you have multiple continents, you might want to, if you know like certain plants descend from a group that got separated on a different continent and none of them are on yours, you could use it to kind of collapse that section so you don't have to try to look through those ones. Also just because it's, I mean, as you saw there, it's massive. It's it gets big. Although I think one thing that is going to help from what I think we're going to do is like once multicellular, like, well, yeah, the early multicellular, early multicellular, I don't know why I was like gaslighting myself and think I had the wrong name. Like once you kind of pass through that, I'll say there might be some autowaiver still going on, but I think for the most part, it's generally going to get shut off for at least like the microbe species, because we're still going to need to have like make sure that a plant species can adapt, that you could have maybe a fungi species adapt and whatnot, like different large kingdoms. Of course, there are some other kingdoms we've potentially discovered recently that are fully extinct on our own planet. For those who don't know, Prototex sites, which was believed to be a fungi, is now believed to be a part of an entirely different kingdom of life that has no living representatives, which I think is fascinating. But of course, we want to have Thrive to have that ability, and if like if this was just like an animal cell I had going here, like a animal colony of sorts that wasn't macroscopic yet. My God, they're going crazy down there. Maybe. I don't know if that's a separate individual. God, what was I saying? Yeah, it's talking about obviously you're not gonna get a plant from obviously what I've done here is I made something that's plant-like. So this probably, if the game were to branch stuff off, it might treat it more like a plant. We have also discussed making sure it doesn't just view having chloroplasts as being predominantly just a plant equivalent. So if there's thermal or anything that maybe directly creates ATP in some way or creates glucose, could be treated as a primary producer to take the spot of various plants for a specific game or on a specific planet that someone has. I don't know if it's just me, but I think we're starting to finally get some lag. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna save the game. This will also be the end of this video, but I think we're starting to actually get somewheres. we'll see how long it'll take for this game to crash. Well then, I will be seeing you in the next video, and we'll start to count our days, because I think we are approaching an eventual crash at this rate. Or just, absolutely having this game murder itself. Until then, my next video, whether it's this or maybe for the Minecraft series, if I decide to do something with that, I'll see you then. And until then, I hope you have a good time and enjoy yourselves. And stay safe out there. We've been having to deal with wildfire smoke where I live. Have a good day, everyone.